It don't happen for Lagos. So they don't select the people will be say go there for the assembly, for the government house, how they go take the help. All those people will be say they go assign different places too. But unfortunately, they can't refuse 17 commissioners. So this 17 nominee where we say they don't refuse, so now it can make people come to talk, mamma mia, they come to talk different things. Now from there, now some of them can carry, they can come out from the real arguments, can start to give unto Rufai lovers. They right say whether you hate him or not is the best. Why others say when we this Nigeria journalists learn how to investigate what they are bringing to us. I beg no na listening to waiting they happen for Lagos. How the city they fight over no banners and banners between the Muslims and the Christian. Why some people are also saying that the head no banners una say me one city con the banners.
Muslims, but it's always been said in the past that Lagos has been skewed towards having more Muslims in government and in cabinet and close to the former governor Ashwaju and all that than Christians. And it seems some Muslims are now complaining that it's skewed more towards Christians. But it's extremely important that whatever you do in Lagos is the melting pot, is the potpourri for the entire nation. And it's home for all. Some people argued about whether you are a Lagosian or you're not. I claim to be a Lagosian. But the least anybody can say is when you're resident in Lagos, Lagos becomes your home. So for that reason, if this is your home, this is where you pay tax, this is where you contribute to its development, then it's home for you. And it means the balance has got to be there for everybody, whether you're Christians or Muslim or even traditional worshiper or whatever it is, you should get a chance. So those who are complaining about that, then let the governor balance it. Secondly, on the issue of those who were not confirmed by the State Assembly, honestly speaking, Rufai and Ayo, I cannot see a reason why someone like Professor Akin Abayomi will not be confirmed. As far as I'm concerned, the best education commissioner in Lagos State so far has been Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo. I haven't seen anybody who has prepared for office as much as this woman, and I haven't seen anybody who has done so much, working really hard for Lagos State to help to improve education in the state. And then the State Assembly, led by Right Honorable Speaker, what's his name now? Obasa. I can't imagine why she will not be confirmed. I can't see any reason. If you're looking for a technocrat that has the understanding of education sector in Lagos and in Nigeria, why would she not be confirmed? Why will Professor Akin Abayomi not be confirmed? The former commissioner for information, Lagos State, someone that we know has been a consummate professional in the industry, like Omotosho, Gbenga Omotosho. He should be confirmed. There's no reason not to confirm him. And there are others. Lekan Fatodu, I know, who has been in the industry, working in the UK and other parts of the world and coming to help the governor with SDG goals. Lekan Fatodu should be confirmed. There's no reason why he should not. So there are others like that. So the question will be, what's the reason? Let the State Assembly help us understand why these individuals were not confirmed and why some other people were confirmed. It should be clear. This, at the moment, is not clear to us, and we want that clarity. So I yield the mic.
Thank you.
So here we go. I do not discount any voice or, people speaking and saying there must be religious balancing in any cabinet. To a large extent, these are always the arguments we've posited, even as regards the national scene. When some people were trying to push a Muslim ticket for presidency, we kept on telling them that let's be fair. And I'm excited that those that pushed the Muslim ticket now and are saying, oh, there's no big deal about it. Now in Lagos State too, they are calling for a need for religious balance. So when it's done otherwise, people should see how it feels, really, So I'm happy that they too have seen what it feels like now. And that's that for that. Secondly, I don't know what's going on between the House in Lagos and this commissioner has not confirmed, but it smacks of a lot of politicking going on. There's something going on, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday, a television station had an interview during their news at 7 p.m. with the whip of the House and also the chairman of the screening committee of those people. And the journalist specifically asked him, what was the reason behind these people not scaling through the screening system? He had no answers. He said it's not about him. He said it's about the committee that was set up to screen them. The journalist persisted. And after he said he had no answers, all of a sudden the phone line went off and the show ended. I've also taken that time, to be able to look at the thing, what's going on, reach out to a couple of people out there and see what's going on, but no concrete answers yet. I think the Lagos State House of Assembly will have to tell us what we don't know. And they will have to exonerate themselves, because a lot of people are already saying this looks like a lot of politicking. Like Mr. K had enunciated, the stellar qualities of those people, yeah, take it or leave it. You might have your grounds against them. You might not agree with them all the time. But you can't argue with the fact that Professor Akin Abayomi did a very wonderful job in his fight against COVID-19 in the States. I think Professor Abayomi, in his fight against COVID-19, had COVID more than anybody. I think this is his 6th or 7th time he's been in and out, fighting COVID personally while he still administers the COVID reaction in the States. Is it Mr. Gbenga Motosho that in his own right would always try to also defend? Or is it the education minister, education commissioner, like you said, that had to quickly adopt a method during COVID to still educate the people through homeschooling and show the power of radio in terms of information dissemination? And the other people that served with Governor Sanwo-Olu in his last administration, that showed some very veritable qualities. So why all of a sudden? And the question should be, if they were good enough to be screened to serve with Governor Sanwo-Olu the first time, what has happened all of a sudden that has made them not good enough to be screened this time around? So the Lagos State House of Assembly will have to throw more light on this, and we'll see how it pans out. But most importantly, we want the full complement of the commissioners to be out, all these bottlenecks sorted out, so that we can go back to the work of administering Lagos. Because there's a lot of problems on ground. For instance, I would like to see when the new transport commissioner comes on board, so that we'll talk about this blue rail line. We ought to be using things like the rail line now, that there's so much increase in fuel price. At least that will be able to ameliorate the movement challenges of people. The state of the roads too. There's a lot that needs to be done in Lagos. And we need to get all through this Lagos State Assembly screen of commissioner bottleneck, so that we start to face the real problems that bedevil all of us in Lagos.
Team. All right. Okay. Let me. I just following from where Kay and Rufai have spoken, especially with the Lagos confirmation of commissioners. First of all, let me say congratulations to all those who were confirmed. I see some promising names there that should make Lagosians excited. People like Dr. Dolapo Fashawe, who's managed the environmental space in Lagos State quite well. She was DG of the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency. And then we also have people like Tubosun Alake, who also had served in the digital space, digital and tech space, as SA in the previous administration. We've seen some people returning as well. And so some quality names there. Now, in terms of the 17 who weren't confirmed out of the 39, of course, this sparked a lot of reactions because people were quite surprised, especially when you see names that already have been mentioned. And add to that, Sam Igube, who was Minister of Economy and Budget Planning. Because when you look at the track record of these men and women, you would then wonder, and this is why it would give rise to perhaps politicking being a factor in their non-confirmation, in terms of non-confirmation of these distinguished men and women. I'd like to center on, very importantly, on Professor Akin Abayomi, as has already been stated, and I must lend my voice to this. Because for many people who live in Lagos, and indeed being the epicenter in many parts, and an example from other states to follow during the management of COVID-19, it is important that we are able to put the right people in the positions so that we get the best out of it. You could hardly fault Professor Akin Abayomi. I mean, you look at read his track record, his experience, his both professional and academic experience. You wonder why he was exempted. And again, like just to emphasize, if they were suitable to have been given the nod in the last administration, what changed? What went wrong? What I would assume is that based on their work, on the work they've done, they would judge them based on that and see they deserve a second term. It's almost a no-brainer that a man like Professor Akin Abayomi deserves a second term. However, to be fair and to be balanced, it's important for the Lagos State House of Assembly to let us understand why. There must be a reason. In the event at the national level, when the three ministers designate were not given clearance to go ahead, it was said that they needed to do further checks with the DSS and further security checks. So even if it wasn't watertight in terms of the reason, there was a reason given. It must be said that what is the reason so that we do not lose our